All right. So it began. Diddy's trial now underway. You got jury selection. That's supposed to be a very serious process for both the prosecution and the defense side. You want to make sure that the right people are ending up on this case. Don't know how long this case is going to go. For all we know, it could last 6 months, 1 year, depending on how much evidence and witnesses need to be called, how this thing flows. We're not going to sit around for the YSL trial again. There's no way it's going to break records as far as how long a damn case goes to trial again. So we'll see. But the jury selection, very important piece to things. Let's look at some of the paperwork as to the questions that you gotta submit your answers to if you are to be on the jury. All right. So going through this jury pool, there's already been a lot of talk that has come out. But look at this preliminary instructions. They put the juror ID in there for people to fill out. You are sworn to give true and complete answers to all questions in this questionnaire. Okay. Do not discuss your questions and answers or the case with anyone now or until further instructed by the court. Do not do your own research on the case. I'm sure everybody's going to say, sure, no problem to that. But there's going to be people that go home from the jury and look up things on the news. They got their phones in their hand. They're reading social media posts. They're seeing what the whole world is saying, and they happen to be people that's on the case. So that's a form of research to me, because you're still getting different outlets of the updates. So that's just the nature of these cases, right? But you still want to give the instruction to people. Summary of the case. All right. Schedule. Potential jurors will be called back for further questionnaire and jury selection from Monday, May 5th, 2025 through Friday, May 9th, 2025. So what's happening is they got this pool of jurors, and certain people are giving certain answers, and they're telling them certain places where they stand. Like there's people that are saying, I used to work at HBO and I was a part of the Full of Diddy documentary, right? This is like true shit that's already happening. And then they got to go through the pool and some of those answers and figure out, is this person that they qualify to like give an unbiased opinion on what's coming out of the updates day to day as we're here. And you see new things. Is it going to tweak a nerve and say, well, I never liked that nigga anyway? Or is it going to tweak a different nerve to be like, oh, nah, like I always wanted him to get free because I want him to make more music. That's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out who's who, what type of charges you had yourself in the past, right? What you've been arrested for in the past, things like that, if at all. So this all makes sense. And it's not supposed to be a 10-minute thing, right? The jury selection process is going to be very, very key in how the verdict will turn out, right? Ability to serve. All right. So they just want to make sure that you're available there. Don't try to tell me that, while we're in the middle of the case, halfway through the case, you got to take a trip to the Bahamas. Nah, it ain't gonna fly. All right. Question one. Do any circumstances exist such that serving on the jury in the case would entail serious hardship or extreme inconvenience? That's going to be tied to availability. Okay. Number two, do you have any personal commitments that would make it difficult for you to get to court by 9 a.m. every day of trial or remain at the courthouse until 5 p.m.? Availability, once again. Three, do you have any difficulty reading, speaking, or understanding English? Okay. Four, do you have any medical, physical, or mental condition or illness that makes you unable to serve on a jury, including difficulty hearing, seeing, reading, or concentrating? Makes sense. Five, are you taking any medication which will prevent you from giving your full attention to all of the evidence at the trial? You don't want nobody walking in there high. You don't want nobody walking in there drunk, and you don't want nobody in there that's on certain type of medications that impede your damn judgment. Like, it's wild that all this shit got to be down on paper, but this is a formality. This is part of the process, right? It's supposed to be common sense for a lot of people, but you'd be surprised. All right, six. Do you have any prepaid or non-refundable travel plans between May 12th and 2025? Oh man. All right. Availability once again. Let's go to seven. Do you have any religious, philosophical, or other beliefs that would make you unable to render a verdict in a criminal case? Um, See the philosophical, like that's tough to sift through. The religious thing now. Now, what if your religious beliefs is that you should have 20 wives, right? And they're painting this picture of him being a nasty man that's just, you're gonna be pro that. But if I had certain religious beliefs and I drop that here and they interpret that as based on what's going to be presented in evidence, you got to spot that out as a juror and say, I don't know if this person is capable of being unbiased. Number 7 is like one of the most serious ones we've seen so far, believe it or not. Number 8, the charges in the case involve allegations of kidnapping, arson, bribery of a witness, obstruction of justice, drug distribution, forced labor, sex trafficking, transportation for purposes of engaging in prostitution. Is there anything about the nature of these allegations that would make it difficult for you to be fair or and impartial? So it's going to be mature content that's going down in there. There's going to be some serious things that are said, things that might make your skin crawl, things that might make you visualize, like as think about the prosecutors coming up and painting a picture like, okay, so on the night in question that we're discussing today from Sunday, May 2020, what happened is then he walks in the room and then she did this and things could get graphic, right? And if you up there squeamish and you can't sit through some of this stuff, then you shouldn't be on the jury. This ain't no, hey, somebody stole a piece of candy. Do you think they should be guilty or not guilty? There's going to be some graphic things discussed. Mature audiences only. Okay. I would put some shit up here like I'd be like, do you have a problem watching gory horror films? I'm not saying that that's what Diddy did no gory horror. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to say like it's a judgment of people's ability to see and hear certain things that don't disturb them. Okay, period. If yes, explain. Oh, they left a lot of room to answer this one. All right, number 9. There may be evidence of graphic videos and photographs, including videos of physical violence, like the Cassie video, for example, which is allowed to come in connection with this case. Is there anything about the nature of the evidence that would make it difficult for you to be fair and impartial? Okay. There may be evidence of sexually explicit videos, photographs, and language in connection with this case. Would such evidence interfere with your ability to sit fairly and impartially in hearing the evidence or the lack of evidence? So, if you're in the jury, you might get an exclusive look at the Cassie sex videos. I don't know if you think that that's a cool thing or not. I'll leave that up to the person. I don't know why that was my interpretation of reading this, right? The only videos that we heard go around behind the scenes leading up to the trial so far has been, oh, it's all consensual sex. And it was Cassie related, right? So them putting videos of the freak offs, even the defense is going to want to do that because they're sticking to the consensual adults. No laws being broken here. Nothing out of the norm. Call me a cuck. Call me a swinger. Call me freaky. Call me all those things. But that's my personal bedroom. That's what the defense wants to get away with, right? The prosecution, they got what they got, but yeah, you guys are gonna see some for lack of a better word, y'all gonna be watching porns up in there, B. All right, get ready. Would you be able to listen to and discuss matters of sexual nature with fellow jurors? Yeah, when it's time to deliberate, you got to get back there and discuss. Yo, so when she, you know what? I ain't gonna get graphic, but I understand that question. If no, please explain. Yeah, this is mature jurors only, man. Have you, a family member, or someone close to you been the victim of sexual assault, sexual harassment, or domestic violence? That's big. All jokes aside, that's a serious bias. If my aunt was ARD, if my mother is a victim of SA, if my sister was taken advantage of in a disgusting manner, and then I'm up here and I'm starting to hear these details by the prosecution, it'll tweak a personal nerve. Imagine hearing something that you could be like, damn, that's exactly what happened to my sister. It's going to tweak a personal nerve. If you're on the jury, they want you to have no connection to anything personal. They just want you to sit there, be able to listen to the evidence, be impartial, be fair, be down the middle. And it's the justice system, right? That's the point of getting a fair trial. If you got a jury full of people that's not your peers, don't understand you culturally, don't speak the language that you speak, have different religious beliefs than you, um, uh, have personal experiences that are similar to the crimes that you're charged in, whether good or bad for that person, you don't want them on the jury. Period. Period. If yes, would that experience affect your ability to fairly and without bias sit as a juror in this case? So that's a setup question to me, because if you check yes right here, I really don't care about you trying to explain to me why you think it won't make you judge unfairly. Because at this point, I don't care about your words. I just don't vote for you to be in the pool of jurors. I don't care about you telling me, nah, I'm good. That was a long time ago. That what happened to my sister. I ain't tripping. I don't care. When the prosecution gets up there and they start walking you on some A Time to Kill Samuel L. Jackson shit and got y'all getting emotional in there and shedding tears and whatnot, and then you're gonna have the nerve to tell me, "Oh no, I'm good." No, 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 no. I don't even need to risk it. I don't want you here. That's real talk. That's real talk. Have you, a family member, someone close to you, been accused or charged with sexual assault or domestic violence? These are once again the connections that you just don't want. If yes, would that experience affect the ability to fairly and without bias? Once again, these are like setup questions to me. If you trip the first one is yes, I don't care about you trying to explain to me why you're still good. I don't want you there. Have you or any member of your family or anyone close to you ever been the victim of a crime of violence, reported or not? Okay. Was there an arrest? Have you or anyone close to you ever been accused, arrested, charged, or convicted of a crime other than traffic ticket? So they're acting like, we caught you speeding, we good, right? Certain jobs won't even let you be hired if you got excessive speeding tickets and whatnot. I wonder if that's a trick question right here on the low, because people use driving infractions as a sign of irresponsibility. That's why employees will not. Oh, you try to set me up with number 13, huh? You ain't catching me. That's why employers would be like, speeding tickets? Nah, we good. Because it's a different type of person that wants to drive and skip through lanes and all of that doing the buck 30 on the highway. It's a different type of person. He's more reckless, right? Now, if I hire this person, what makes me think if he's not being reckless with his own life, that he's not going to be reckless within at times the job that I'm hiring for? No different than a jury. Yo, you got any speeding tickets? We all right with that? No, you ain't. That's a trick question. All right. Have you or has any member of your family with whom you resided at the time or a close friend ever been employed by or received training from any local, state, or federal law enforcement agency? So are you going to come up in here acting like you know the law? Do you know the law already? Uh, I see where that could help or hurt. No, then again, I don't want it to be able to help because I'm here to explain the case to you, prosecution and defense. I'm here to explain things to you. The judge is here to also moderate laws and what's right and what's wrong, right? I don't need you coming on the jury acting like I don't care what that, because lawyers could be wrong. I don't care what the lawyer said when I went to college for it. It was taught like this. Yeah, so that's a bad thing too. I don't want you coming in here acting like you know the law. Yeah. Okay. All right. If yes, do you believe this would interfere with your ability? Blah blah blah. Yeah, the follow up question is pretty consistent in this document so far. Do you have any personal, religious, philosophical, or other beliefs that would prevent you from being fair and impartial in this case? If that's very easy, right there, and straightforward. If you check yes, possibly you could remain in the pool. If you check no, you gotta go. You check no, you know that you're telling the courts right there, get me out of here. If you check no, come on. Under the law, the facts are of the jury to determine, and the law is for the judge to determine. You are required to accept the law as the judge explains it to you, even if you do not like the law or disagree with it, and you must determine the facts according to those instructions. Do you accept this principle, and will you be able to follow the judge's instructions if selected to serve on this jury? We get it. And that kind of contradicts the one above. Don't be acting like you can't listen to the judge because you went to class, or you maybe you passed the ball. Maybe you're a lawyer and you just want to be on the jury. Like, nah, dog. This is a flattened environment right here. You're not walking in here with anything pre-existing. Makes sense. The law provides that a defendant in a criminal case is presumed innocent at all stages of the trial and is not required to put on any defense at all. The government is required to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt on each charge. Do you accept these principles, and will you be able to apply them if selected to serve in the jury? Very, 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 very important one right there. Number 17. Yeah, I'm glad that you have that. That should be I hope that this is standard. That nothing in here should be customized for Diddy. This should be standard for any jury selection, right? Should just be across the board. The government is required to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There you have it. If you get back there with a reasonable doubt, you are supposed to say not guilty. And number two, in so many words, they're reminding you the case isn't won or lost. It's the burden of proof. Okay. If you sue somebody, it's not on me to prove that whatever happened didn't happen of what you're accusing me of. It's on you to prove your accusations. The burden of proof is on the plaintiff side, or in this case, the prosecution. Okay. You have to remember that. So I'm not saying that you don't pay attention to the defense, but it's the prosecution's job to make you walk away feeling like they proved these charges and these accusations. And if there's any reasonable doubt that I have when I get back there, I'm not supposed to rock with it. Remember that. Very important that number 17 is understood clearly by these people. The law provides that a defendant in a criminal case has an absolute right not to testify, and that a juror cannot hold it against the defendant. If he chooses not to testify, do you accept this principle, and will you be able to apply it if selected to serve on the jury? So that's going to consistently be a question. Will Diddy take the damn stand? You know, you look at other cases, much different, of course, but like Tory Lanez, some people have the opinion that he could have helped himself if he took the stand. Some people then say, but he's trying to come home to his career. And if he got up there and took the stand, he would have possibly said things and he would have walked away with that almighty snitch label, right? You up on the stand testifying and telling things that you shouldn't be saying, right? It is what it is, right? When you're in that situation based on your charges, your testimony, your street status, your principles, your morals, the codes that you feel like you're breaking, not breaking, you make that decision. In Diddy's case, I'll tell you this. I believe fully based on his personality, he would love to take that stand. But if we don't see him on the stand, it's 100% because of his legal team, right? Are there situations where somebody says, "No, fuck that, I'm getting up there. I got to get up there and fight." Y'all not the ones that's gonna have to go serve life. I am. I'm sitting here every day just like y'all, and I'm feeling out things and I'm seeing things, and I feel like my voice needs to be heard. Hey, and your legal team can't stop you from doing that. They work for you. If Diddy gets to a point where he says, "I don't care what y'all say, I'm taking that fucking stand," that's just what it's gonna be, and they might just sit back and be like, "Listen, if you're forcing yourself on that stand and we're telling you not to, let us sit down and prep you and guide you things to say, not to say." You know, so is he going to force himself on the stand? Is it already decided within him and his whole team that he's going to take the stand or not take the stand? Will their opinions change as the case goes? I think it's all on the table. I think it's all on the table, man. Because Diddy is a good speaker and he's a public speaker. Okay, Diddy has given a lot of award speeches and all types of stuff, and we gotta assume, given the nature of what we think, in our opinion, allegedly, the type of stuff that he does off camera in the privacy of his life, like i.e., the Cassie video in that hotel, that he's very capable of getting on camera in front of the lights, hey, doing the presidential wave, telling people exactly what they want to hear, except his key to the city from the mayor and all that. Go home and drag somebody down a hallway, allegedly. Well, do I need to say allegedly? We've seen the video. You get my point. So he might think that he's great to put up there. He might think that he could turn the tide and be charismatic to some of these people and invoke things like sympathy. I'm really a good guy. That's what he tried to do with his apology video. It didn't work. I don't know if his lawyers wanted him to do that, but that's a that's going to be big if that man gets on the stand. All right, let's move on. Under the law, the question of punishment is for the court alone to decide, and thus the issue of punishment must not enter into your deliberations as to whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty as charged. Do you accept this principle? I mean, that should be obvious, right? Regardless of how you deliberate, don't get back there and say, I think he should get 10 or I think he should just get on probation. That's not for you to decide. You must be focused on coming back and submitting you're guilty or not guilty. It's not your job. Because when you think about it, even though that's common sense, it is important. Because what if somebody is impartial? What if somebody wants to say, I think I think he's guilty, but for what I think he did and which I'll prove to me, man, he only deserves a year. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't say, I think he's guilty, but not as guilty as y'all want him to be. I don't want him to get the punishment that y'all want to give him because I think that prostitute was really just an IG model that got next to him and tried to get some money out of him. Can't do that. You just got to say guilty, not guilty. The judge is the one that's gonna determine. No, that right there, maximum sentence. So that right there, 5 years for that charge. If guilty verdict comes in, that's big. This stuff, man, this is serious. This case is likely to receive ongoing media attention. As instructed above, from now until your jury service is complete, you are instructed to avoid all media coverage and not go not go on the internet or social media with regard to this case for any purpose. That is, you are forbidden from consuming any news media or social media about this case and from discussing this case or anyone participating in the case outside of the courtroom. You also must not discuss this case with anyone. This includes your family, friends, spouse, domestic partner, colleagues, co-workers. These instructions apply from now and until you are either dismissed from the jury selection or chosen as a jury. And come on, like, so you set the rule, of course. I get it. Set the rule. You don't want that going down. Makes sense. But these people are humans. I'm getting to the dinner table tonight and I'm gonna sit across from my wife and she's gonna say, yo, so what happened today in there, man, when they played the Cassie video? And I'm gonna tell her. Nah, but in all seriousness, man, even the avoidance of social media is baked into people's daily life. You got smartphones, you got all, you know what I'm saying? So good luck there as well. But it's when you set rules like this, you know what you better not do as a juror. Just don't get caught. Don't walk out of the court buildings after day 20 is wrapped up. And then you got TMZ with a microphone in front of your face saying, so how do you feel so far? Guilty, not guilty? What's your and you like, well, for me, no. You fuck around and Diddy get a mistrial behind that. like, like, like you can't do shit like that. You be damned. And it's Diddy's lawyer's job to pay attention to that because you're infecting the person's opinions possibly. Social media is going to weigh in with all their I'm going to be here every day with an opinion on the update. Some of my opinions could be very, very, very spot on. Some of my opinions could be 1000% off. But it's just my opinion. And then you consume that, you might be infected by that. So they want you off of social media. Period. Period. It makes sense. Prior jury service. Have you ever served? I don't really care about the prior stuff. Relationship with participants. You shouldn't have even gotten this far to me, even making it to the pool of selection if you're Diddy's cousin. Like, you shouldn't even got this far. But do or does any member of your family or close friend personally know or have past or present dealings with any of the following individuals? The defendant, in this case, Sean Combs, or his family members. If you can get somebody from your family on the damn jury, no different than if you can get some money in the pocket of somebody that's on the jury. They don't have that question here. Will you ever take money offered to you for your rendering of your verdict? Yes or no? If so, what is the amount that you would accept? Alright. Any of the assistants, U.S. attorneys who are prosecuting the case. Oh, yeah, so good. Yeah, this can't just apply to Diddy. Alright. All the attorneys, all the assistant attorneys, they name them all here. Do you know any of them? Are you related to any of them? You got any relationship with them? Cool. You expect to see all no's in that column. Any of the defense attorneys or law firms who are representing the defendant. Yep. Any of the lawyers, any of Diddy's team. Let's read some of these names real quick. I don't recognize any of them, but you still have the legendary Brian Steele right there. Are you a fan of Brian Steele? Oh wait, we know Alexandra Shapiro, not to be confused with Alex Spiro, Jay Z's lawyer. But yeah, so we know this name. We know this name, of course. All right. The United States District Judge, who is specific. You can't know the judge neither, nigga. All right. Knowledge of the case. Before today, had you read, seen, or heard anything about Mr. Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, yada yada yada, or the criminal charges brought against Mr. Combs? Everybody's gonna check. Just they want you to check no. You'd be lying to their face if you check no. But right here, summarize what you heard. You want to know what a good answer is that they want to see if you're to remain in the pool of selection. Yeah, I heard things in passing. Something about, Diddy he's a rapper or something. He got in trouble for I don't know, maybe something with a girlfriend that he got arrested for. But other than that, I don't really know the details. I don't be on social media. That's not my thing. All I do is paint pictures all day long. Right? That's the type of shit they want to see here. It's an interview, kid. A fucking interview. How you personally formed any opinion about Mr. Combs' guilt or innocence, or have you, of the crimes charged so yeah, that's clear. Don't walk in here already with your mind decided on certain things. Of course, you're going to be swayed. It's the prosecution and defense's job to sway you all over the place during this trial. But do you already have any preconceived notions based on anything that you have read, seen, or heard about Mr. Combs, including anything about the criminal charges against Mr. Combs? Have you formed any opinions about Mr. Combs that might make it difficult for you to be fair and impartial on the juror in this case? So, somebody like me, even if I check no, you could expose somebody like me if I was there in the pool of jurors, because I did a stream when the video of Diddy and Cassie first broke, when it first dropped on the internet. And if you go to that stream, I was wilding on Diddy. I was like, he's a disgusting piece of shit. I'm off him forever. I don't fuck with him. There's no return from that. It's over for you, buddy. It wasn't my feelings towards him legally. It was my feelings towards him as a man. Okay? Um Now you might think to yourself, and you would be right to do so, that this guy ARP is not going to be able to separate his personal feelings towards Diddy as a man for what he did in that video versus the fact that we're not here to contest, argue, or charge him for assault in that video. That's not why we're here. You know what I'm saying? So will somebody like that be able to separate the two? And I honestly wouldn't deserve to be that video alone. Like Brian Steele is supposed to find that video after when you find out who's in the jury pool, whatever, you should start doing homework on them every day. This is their job. This is why they're making millions of dollars. There's 40 people is in the pool of jurors. I got their names. I'm going to start searching them on the internet. I want to find their Facebooks, their Instagram, their Twitters. I want to go back. I want to pull up, see if they got, I'm just going to search their at and with the word Diddy with it and see what they say. Me, you find me, and you say, oh, this guy got a YouTube channel. All right, let's go to his YouTube channel. Now that we're on his YouTube channel, let's search the name Diddy, all his videos. Oh, look at all these videos. Let's see what he's saying in his videos. Oh, the Cassie one, click play on that. Diddy's a piece of shit. No. He's tainted. He already has a personal feeling, a personal position already, even though that's not what we're charging him for. Get this guy the fuck out of here. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Based on anything you have read, seen, or heard about Mr. Yeah. All right. Let's just a couple more left. Have you communicated to others, posted your opinion on social media or online, or liked any social media post about Mr. Combs? Even if you are caught liking something, that shows a bias, right? That shows a partial decision, or you agreeing or leaning with something. But think about it like this too. You ever see those posts online? If somebody puts up I'll use Fat Joe. Condolences to Fat Joe. Post went up on the internet recently that his mother passed away, and people like the post, right? I've always been weirded out about that, because some people like posts to say this like is a form of supporting you. In other instances, I could say likes are supposed to be to celebrate or to agree with the post. So when you like a post that says the passing of somebody, where do you stand? I'll give you another example. That's how 50 Cent and Mano got into it, right? Somebody posted something that was with like one of 50's ops. What else is new? Mano liked the post. Mano got 50, separated from Mano at that point. That used to be cool. Mano, I think, helped Mano with, 50 helped Mano get like his initial deal or something like that. And 50 sort of and he took issue with it. And Mano did interviews saying like, I didn't like that post because of no backstory between 50 and this other people or whatever. I just like the post because I seen somebody on the internet and I was fucking with one of my homies. This support. That's what I do with a lot of my people. Sometimes I like shit from people that I grew up with without even reading their caption. You know what I'm saying? I thought I saw battle rap facts in here. Did I see battle rap facts in the chat? I did. Battle rap facts is here, right? I'm gonna say this publicly. This this is I don't actually this Diddy clip is gonna get chopped and put to the channel, so everybody will see this. But this is true statement. Battle rap facts. He ats me on a lot of his blogs. I'm keeping it so 1,000 with y'all, or his videos, right? If I can't assume the context of his video fully from his caption or his title, I don't retweet it because of the 50 Cent Mano type of shit. Because if he's in there and he's saying, fuck Big K, he's entitled to that opinion. And I could be cool with battle rap facts, even though he has an issue with Big K. And everybody know Big K is my fucking peoples. That's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know that. And I retweet it. And what if Big K feels away? Like, this nigga, yeah. So even though I still might even I might fuck with the content, but I'm not retweeting it because people interpret shit differently. So I fall back. But if he ats me and mentions me in one of his videos that says, Curry shows up in game 7, they now advance to the second round, I'm 99.9% sure then with a title like that nobody's gonna fuck up that I'm not trying to be involved in people's controversy by retweeting this. You know what I'm saying? It's a social media dance. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you just want to support people and you don't even know the video. You didn't even watch it. You didn't even watch the shit. You didn't even read the caption sometimes. But social media gets people into it every fucking day. And I don't even at you if I know it's something that you want to say neutral. You see? You know what I mean? I appreciate that because I don't even know the topic. Or you know what? I could get a gist from the title maybe, but there might be things that's getting said in there. I didn't watch the video yet. You know what I'm saying? But I retweeted for support and now somebody mad at me. That's how fucking social media goes, man. People that lost relationships behind likes. Why you liking this bitch's pictures? What? I just saw the background. Lisa, come look at this. Who knows what I'm talking about? That comedian. He's hilarious. All right. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, fuck it. I'll move on. All right. So social media, man, it's a tough job for these jurors, man, because Diddy is he's been a household name forever, you know? He's going through the Shine shooting all over again as far as the world is watching this. Based on anything you have read, seen, or heard about Mr. Combs, including anything about criminal charges brought against Mr. Combs, would you be able to follow the court's instruction to put that information out of your mind and decide this case based only on the evidence presented at trial? Once again, just removing bias. Okay. If is there any matter not covered by this questionnaire that you think is important to bring to attention of the court? Yeah, you didn't ask me um where I stand in the Cassie video, which everybody that's on the jury, whether they admit it or not, has seen. I would have put this in. Once again, this looks like very formal. I believe that questions like this should be asked of every juror, and then you just copy and paste, and you change names like Mr. Combs to whoever the next defendant is. So it shouldn't be overly customized, but you know, as Diddy's defense, you are paying attention to, hey, did you see that Cassie video? And then you got the declaration for the juror to sign at the bottom. So, all right, that's the read of what's happening right now in them courts starting yesterday. That is the read, and that is why jury selection is a big. It's one of the most important pieces of the trial. These are the people that's going to go deliberate and decide on your fate. They're going to walk out with that piece of paper months from now or a year from now, who knows how long the trial goes, and they're going to say, "We as the court, boom, 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 how do you feel? How do you decide? Guilty, not guilty. Charge XYZ. How do you feel? We have it guilty. Charge ABC. How do you feel? We have not. You guys are a part of this man's freedom. So this jury process is huge. It's a big deal.